you still be happy. You can do whatever you like. You don't have to be ready. You just gotta trust the right. Don't have to be
Hello and
scary.
welcome to the new and improved Beginner Pilates series for 2023. My name's Margaret. I'm a certified Pilates instructor and I'm going to be moving you through this series. Today we'll be moving through class and focusing a little bit on modifications for people that have wrist pain or that are working on building up strength in their wrists. I myself deal with a lot of wrist pain because I have rheumatoid arthritis, and when I'm programming my classes, I really try to be mindful of how often we are weight bearing on the wrist. Today, again, we are going to be using a handy dandy towel, so if you have a kitchen towel or a hand towel that you can grab, go ahead and grab it. I am still using my favorite Halloween costume dog kitchen towel that I have. We'll really be using this as a supportive tool today to give us a little bit more cushion when we're in exercises that require a little bit more from our wrists. When you're ready, grab your towel and just put it off to the side. We'll take a couple deep breaths from right here. So come down into seated, wherever you like to be, cross-legged, legs out in front of you, sit in a long butterfly. You can sit in a chair up against a wall. You've got a lot of options. Take a big roll of the shoulders as you open up through your chest. Let your shoulder blades relax down and back. Reach the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. We'll inhale here through the nose. And then exhale out through the mouth. For 3 more, inhale. And then exhale. For 2, inhale. And then exhale. 1 more, inhale. And then exhale. Good. With that last exhale, open your eyes if they were closed. We're just gonna take some circles through the wrist to get our wrists ready to move. So you can bend at your elbows, take your hands so they come up by your shoulders. We'll circle the wrist and pick whatever direction feels more natural. You'll circle 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then we'll reverse that circle. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take your right arm, reach it out towards me like you're telling me to stop. Take your left hand, bring your left hand towards your fingertips. Now really gently, you're gonna put a little bend into that right elbow, slightly pull back your fingers. So we're really putting our wrist into flexion. Good. We're going to turn the fingertips down and now keep the hands on the right fingertips. You're going to pull the fingertips back towards you. And again, soft bend into the elbow. Good. We'll do that 2 more times. Fingertips up. You can pull the fingertips back towards you. It's a gentle pull. Don't get crazy with it. And then fingertips down, you press the crease of the wrist forward. And these stretches are good to do, honestly, all of the time. So don't just limit this to our brief Pilates classes together. All the time, these are good to do. Same thing on the other side. We take the left hand, stop. Take the right hand, grab the fingers, and then gently pull them back. Soft bend into the elbow. Breathe into that. Good, and then you're gonna point the fingertips down, palm towards you. Keep holding on to those left fingertips. You can gently pull back. Good. For 2 more, fingertips up, palm towards me, pull the fingertips back. Good, and then fingertips down, crease of the wrist up, pull the fingertips towards you this way. For 1 more. Sometimes I say a number when I'm counting and I immediately forget what number I said. So if we ever end up doing a bonus rep or I cut you short a rep, just, I don't know, laugh it off. Just laugh it off. I really don't take things that seriously, so that's what we're working with. Roll the shoulders down and back. Take a second right there, and we're gonna come up into a tabletop position. Now, for this tabletop position, we're going to take our towel. You can fold it in half, like lengthwise, and then fold it in half again, so you create a little like mountain with your towel almost. Take the heel of your hand, which is right here. You're going to place that onto your towel. So we get our wrists a little bit elevated from the rest of our hand. Fingertips are pressing down into the mat. Okay, and you can do this anytime that we come into this position. I know we did this a little bit yesterday. Spread out through your fingertips. We're going to do a couple of cat-cows. On your inhale, you'll arch into your back. You open up the chest, draw the shoulder blades together. Exhale, you press up and away. You'll curve the spine, point the crown of the head down. For 3, inhale as you arch the back, open up the chest, draw the shoulder blades together. Exhale, curve the spine, press up and away. For 2, inhale, arch. And then exhale, curve. One more, inhale. And then exhale. Good. Now with that last one, if even just being in a tabletop position like this puts a little bit too much on your wrist, walk your hips so they go further back towards your heels. Take that towel with you and now take your hands down. So we're releasing some pressure from the wrist. Now we don't have the whole weight of our upper body pressing down into the wrist. You can take those same movements we just did from right here. So hands still on the towel, fingertips are reaching wide. You'll inhale, arch the back. Exhale, you think about pressing away from the mat, curving the spine. For 3, inhale as you arch. And then exhale as you press away. Good. For 2, inhale, you arch. And then exhale, press away. One more, inhale, arch. And then exhale, press away. Good. Okay. Now in yesterday's class, we did a little bit of work through the legs in our tabletop position. I'm going to show you how to modify that position with a couple of different options. So we can keep the towel with us. I'm going to fold it in half just one more time. You can take that towel, bring it over towards the left side of your mat, and then come back onto your knees. Knees about hips distance apart. We'll take the right forearm. Right forearm comes down to the mat. And you can turn the fingertips towards the left edge of your mat. Take that towel. Your left hand is going to go onto the towel, and you can have the wrist elevated, fingertips down. So now we have a lot more of our body weight supported on that right forearm. We're off of the wrist. We have a little bit of pressure on that left wrist, but not so much that it should be irritable, but if it is, I'm going to show you another option. Now from here, that same exercise that we did yesterday, remember we extended the leg back and then we pulled it back in. I think that's what we did. We're going to do that same thing here. So right knee stays down. You'll inhale as you extend the leg back. And then exhale, you can pull back in. Now you can look down to your right forearm so you can keep your head and neck on the same line as the rest of your spine. For 2, and this option is available to you anytime that we come into a tabletop position, okay? Remember, you are empowered and you are informed. You can make the right decisions for you and your body. Don't feel like you have to do everything I say. Left knee comes down. Now here's the second option for coming into an exercise like this. Both forearms down on the mat. You create the number 11. You press up and away from your mat. Point the crown of the head forward so you're looking forward but a little bit down. Right knee stays down, and same thing. We extend the left leg back. And then we bring it back in. For 3, hips will be a little bit higher than the shoulders, and that's okay. For 2, one more. Good. Left knee comes in. Take a second. You'll come off of the forearms. Give your wrists a little bit of a shake. Just like this, like you're kind of flicking water off of your fingertips. Good. Hands come down. Take a little roll of the shoulders. And we'll do that same thing on the other side. Okay, so grab back onto your towel. Knees stay about hips distance apart. Okay, we start in tabletop, but now you'll take the left forearm so it goes down to the mat. It's parallel to the front edge of your mat. That right hand can come down. You can elevate the wrist on your towel if that's what you want to do. We're rotated a little bit towards the right just because of the placement of the upper body. You're still pressing up and away from your mat. Left knee stays where it is. You'll reach the right leg back. And then exhale, you pull it back in. You'll reach back. Now, for some of you, this position still won't be the most comfortable, and that's okay. If you're moving through this class with me and you want to find what works best for you, hang out in your forearm tabletop position. This is our last one. Extend back. And then pull that right knee in. Take a second, spin that left forearm out. Bring the right forearm down to meet it, shoulders over elbows, pressing up and away from your mat. You're looking down, but a little bit forward. So you're not tucking chin to chest, looking back toward your thighs. We talked about that yesterday. If you're in tabletop and you look like this, we've got the wrong head and neck positioning. So crown of the head is reaching, the back of the neck is long. You inhale, extend your right leg back, and then exhale, pull the knee back in. For 3, reach back. And then bring it in. For 2, back. And in. 1 more, back. And in. Good. Right knee comes down. We'll come off of the forearms. And again, we'll take that same shake of the wrists like you're flicking water off of your fingertips. And then we'll do a big roll of the shoulders. Okay, next thing we'll walk through is our planks. So we do planks in Pilates. We do. They are sometimes a necessary evil. So you have options with how you take these. Again, you can use your towel and prop the wrist up. When the wrist is a little bit higher than the fingertips, that releases some of that pressure. So for your plank, we're gonna walk through a modified plank. If you are feeling ready to go into a full plank, then this beginner series probably isn't the right place for you, but you go for it. For a modified plank, your knees are back behind your hips and you're shifting forward so your shoulders are over your wrist. You're tucking the tailbone just slightly so you're in your neutral spine and the crown of your head is reaching up and out. You're looking forward but a little bit down. Remember, head and neck on the same line as the rest of your spine. If in your modified plank this is still too much pressure on your wrists, or if you get into it and you're like, nope, you come down to your forearms and that same thing works. Forearms in the number 11, you're pressing up and away from your mat. Okay, you inhale here. Exhale, let it go. Same rules apply when we come into a side plank. So I'll show you. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but right hand can come down. We can open up to the left. You're either on the hand like this, shoulder a little bit away from your wrist, or you drop down and you come to your forearm. We did this a little bit yesterday talking about head and neck positioning, lifting up, that bottom hip lifts. You have these options anytime that we come into any position where you're weight bearing on the wrist. Okay, just for good measure, we'll do that same thing on the other side for the side planks. You can swing the legs around, knees together. You've got the left hand down and we're lifted up and away. See how my shoulder's a little bit away from my wrist? And then you can lower it down and come down to your side plank on your forearm. We lift up through that bottom hip. Good, and then take it all the way down. Okay, those should be the things that we need to cover when it comes to modifications with wrists. If you're dealing with wrist pain or wrist tension, hopefully that is helpful for you. Remember, you're awesome. You can do anything you put your mind to, and I will see you back here tomorrow.